In this video, I'll be creating a replica of Panels app inside Flutter. And the purpose is very simple. We'll learn something by doing it. Hi, my name is Afzal and I'm a Flutter mobile app developer. Recently, MKBHD announced his application Panels for $50 per year subscription. People went all crazy because it's just a wallpaper downloading application, and who's gonna pay for that? The actual purpose of this application is not to sell wallpapers, but selling an emotion of having MKBHD's wallpaper, getting recognized in the crowd by people of same interest. And to be honest, this is a thing. So if you know, you know. And paying $50 for that is nothing, trust me. And that's for hardcore fans. But for rest of the people, they will not even consider downloading this application with such chaos and permission issues and advertisements. And I would like to appreciate MKBHD at this point because he accepted the blunder that happened and revised the subscription plan to something as small as $2 per month. And he also reduced the number of ads. Kudos to him. I think we gave more than the introduction to the application. So this is the time to start VS Code and creating the same application for ourselves. Who knows, MKBHD might contact me after seeing this video. So here inside VS Code, I created a new Flutter project. And you can do that from terminal as well. That's not a big deal. You know how to create a project, right? That's too basic for the tutorial part. Okay. So the project is created. Let's create a new folder where we will keep all the pages involved in this tutorial. And basically we have three main pages in the application. One is the home page, and there's an explore page, and we have accounts page. Perfect. So all the three files are created. Now quickly I will create a basic template. Like I will just say a text in the center of the screen which says home page, explore page, and accounts page, so that we know when we are implementing that, okay, all the different pages are visible. Cool. Now we need some container page which will actually host all these three pages. Because if you see the application, we have like a single home screen, and that switches between all these three pages. So I have created one more page which is called main page, and basically it will consist of all the three pages, and you can switch using a bottom navigation bar. That's a simple idea. Now to host all the three pages, we will create a list of page. And because you are a Flutter developer, you should know that everything is a widget. So even your pages are widget, either stateful or stateless. That's the question. Okay, so we have list of pages defined. Now we need to initialize it with actual data. So let's do that inside init state method. And I don't know why they give this to do implementation. That's fine, but it's annoying because all the time I have to delete it manually. Right, so here I will reference the home page, the explore page, and the accounts page. All right, while implementing this project, I discovered one interesting widget which is called indexed stack. And as the name suggests, it stacks all the widgets, but the index is dynamically defined. Like whatever index you say as a current index will become on top, right? And the reason why I chose this widget, because if you look at the example, if you look at the main application, there you will see all the pages are holding their own state. Switching between pages doesn't really reset it to initial position. It's just that it hides it for that period, right? So we can control that easily with help of current index. Maybe we can define a variable here which will point to 0th page, which in our case is home page, and we can change this value based on the bottom navigation bar selection. Now I believe it's a good idea to run the application and see it live, what's happening, what we are coding, instead of just blindly writing the code. So here I have executed the application. Let's see if everything is working, and I can see that it's still saying hello world, which means our main page is not yet linked. So inside our main file, the home screen will be defined as main page, and now you should see home page as the beginning of our application, right? So far bottom navigation bar is not implemented, so it's just showing you the indexed stack. Now let's go ahead and implement bottom navigation bar also to see different pages in action. Now, just to tell you about the bottom navigation bar, you can provide multiple tab items. It's just like it sticks to the bottom, and you can switch tabs, you can switch pages based on that. And this is inbuilt structure of a scaffold. So you have app bar, body, and bottom navigation bar. So we are not implementing app bar in this page. We just have body and the bottom navigation bar, which is currently giving some issue. And the issue because it's asking for minimum items length. So at least we need 2 items in the bottom navigation bar for this widget to work, because there's no sense if you just have one bottom navigation bar item, you can just use it without the navigation system, right? You have just one button. So it says that you should have 2 items. Now quickly I will create navigation bar item for home, explore, and accounts, so that we have the bottom navigation bar up and running. And if this blue warning lines annoys you, you can simply put constant keyword, or you can just follow what it says. It will go away. And if you don't want to follow, you can always modify the linter rule. You can go to analysis file over here and define your own rules, so that if you want to skip some validation for time being, you can override the rules, so it will not bug you over there. Although this is not recommended for production builds, but yeah, while development you can disable, because as you write, you are not using constant and all those things. It will just skip for time being, and whenever you want to switch back to production code, or you want to commit your code, before that you can just enable the linter rules and just fix it all in one go. I hope this tip will help you somewhere in your journey. So let's go ahead and check whether our bottom navigation bar is working or not. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to work, because we just provided the items and we haven't said what will happen if you choose one of the item. For that, you can simply write on tap event inside bottom navigation bar and define the index. So we have current index. We will just set state and update to the new index. Whatever it is being clicked on, you will get that in index value, and same thing we will assign to current index. Now we can just restart the application, and you will see that it switches from home to account to explore. Everything is working fine, but the icons are not really updating. So you see it's still home icon is active, whereas you are on accounts page. So to fix that, we will provide some other properties inside bottom navigation bar. We'll say that it's of type fixed. We'll provide color for that. What is the unselected color? What is the size of icon? If you want to increase or decrease, you can do that here. And also we'll provide the current index, which is very important. That's how it knows which index is highlighted. And here we have the final result. Much better, right? Perfect. So our main page is quite done for now. Let's go ahead on individual page and work on the components and the actual UI. To show the grid of images, we will use Flutter staggered grid view, which is amazing package. It has different layouts, like it has masonry view, it has quilted view, it has woven view. So you can see they have shown the examples how each of these different view looks like. They have given even the code samples, they have given the image. So I really like this widget because every single example they have covered on their pub.dev page. So in our case, we are going to use this masonry grid view, right? I'll just copy this. We'll use it after we install the package. And to install the package, I'm going to use this command template and use add dependency, dart dependency, and then we will specify the name of the package. It will do auto search for you. So that's why I prefer using this, because you can search the package easily, and to verify, you can go ahead and check inside PubSpec. You have the latest version. Amazing. So now we have the package. Let's paste the code which we copied from pub.dev, which is using this grid view. And I think we need to provide the reference. So let's fix it by importing the library, and also we need to remove this constant keyword. Okay, now it's working fine. There's one small issue here. It's referencing to some tile widget which is not there. Like, it's not inbuilt, it's a custom UI which we have to create for every single tile, how it looks. I mean, we don't have to create each time, of course. The renderer will take care of it, but we have to create a UI file which gives the layout for every single item. So here I created a widgets folder You can name it even views folder. Some people prefer to use views keyword. Okay, and here I have defined the name as image tile. And now we will create a stateless widget because nothing is going to change within this widget, within this UI of image tile, right? So that's why we have created a stateless widget. And for time being, we are not going to complicate it with a stack and other UI components. We'll just simply use image with a network. So we will provide the link of the image. Whenever we are calling this image tile, we will tell it what is the image source, and we will also specify some of the other parameters which we need, like I think we need index parameter, although like we are not going to use it now, but later on maybe this widget can use it for some purpose. So it's a good idea to pass index, right, so that it can check for uniqueness and other stuff, right? And also I would pass one parameter for extent, which means like how much is the height of single item, because this grid view is dynamic. It's all the items are not going to take the same size, so we will specify how much size each item takes and on what condition it decides the size. So that will be decided by the parent widget. This tile will only know how much size it's going to render, right? So our image tile is quite ready. Let's go ahead to home file and provide that parameter from here. Now for the image, I'm going to use pixum.photos, which is amazing because it gives you random images of different size. You can define width and height, and you can even define the key so that you get same image again and again. And there's a different parameters which you can check out on pixum.photos. All right, so we have provided the image source. Now it's time to define the logic for extent, like which item takes how much size. And the simple logic I will write is index mod 2, which checks like if the remainder is 0. So if it's an even number, then we will provide height of 300 pixel. If it's odd number, then we will give it 150, let's say. And before we can test this widget, we have to restart the application. And the reason is we have added a new package. So whenever you add a package, it needs to reference those libraries and install those libraries. So you cannot hot reload this thing, right? Like that's too much for expectation if you are thinking that it should take package as well. So whenever you install package, just remember that you have to stop execution, restart, so Flutter knows what package, how to use it, and it will work perfectly fine after that. But here the final result doesn't look anything like the application reference. So we have to customize some properties. First thing, we need only 2 columns, and spacing, let's make it 12 pixel on horizontal and vertical, so it looks much better. And to fix the issue of repeating image, we can simply provide random keyword inside the pixum photos. And for the randomness, we will use index, because for each item the index is going to be different, so each time you will get a different image. Simple hack, right? But it's it's useful. Okay, let's see. We have random images and it's taking the same size. It's not reflecting on extent. So I think we got to fix image tile. So the simple fix is we'll just wrap this image inside a container and provide some height. And of course that height will be extent height, right? And also we'll make the image box fit so that it contains the whole area by clipping the image. So it already started looking nice, and we'll provide some more decoration, like we'll give some corner radius, and to show that corner clipping we have to say clip anti-alias. And I don't want to go inside the details of every single widget used here because it's very basic and you will just learn it simply by following the code. What I'm trying to do here is put the image inside a stack, make it expand, and then use a text widget on top of it. Now the text is not visible, so we'll wrap that inside a container. We'll provide some background color with opacity, and also there's a heart option, like you can like image or unlike it. For that I will use an icon, and for now just for the UI I'm using icon, but you can also like wrap it with inkwell and provide the behavior on tap. So that's how we have a complete image style ready, and our home page now only needs a header. Apart from that, everything is done as per the main application reference. Alright, inside our home page, now we will wrap this grid view with nested scroll view because we want our header and the grid both to scroll at the same time. So we are using nested scroll view. For the body parameter, we will be using the same grid view, and for header, we will create a sliver builder. Now this sliver builder returns multiple slivers, and for now we are just going to return one sliver, which is going to be our sliver app bar. As simple as that. And here as well, I will just fast forward a little bit to create a container which represents a user icon where he can upload a picture or something, and then there's a bottom tab bar. Now to use the tab bar, we have to wrap everything inside a default tab controller so that the page can control different tabs, and you have to specify the length of the tab and then simply specify each title, like what is each tab called. And here you have a simple default tab implementation with sliver nested scroll view. Now we're going to stop the tutorial at this point because we are at save point. We have a complete UI, but you will see that each tab is like representing the same list view. In fact, it's not even changing the tab, and the title bar, the sliver app bar, is not actually appearing when you scroll in a reverse direction. So to fix that, first in sliver app bar, we will provide floating true and snap true so that when you reverse scroll, you are going on top, the app bar will appear automatically and it will snap to the full height. The second issue about the tab bar showing the same list view is that the complete body is covered by the grid view. So what we have to do, we have to implement a tab bar view, and we have to define 3 different content for the tabs. So the first tab will be this grid view. The second tab, of course, once we implement the liked component, like liked images, you can show that grid view. And third one, your libraries of purchase. So for now, we'll just provide this one as a first tab, and for tab 2 and 3, we will use a size box, which is like empty box, nothing we are going to show for now. Perfect. At this point, we can safely say that the base tutorial is covered. We have covered the image grid view, we have covered the scroll behavior, the different tabs and everything. So this is a good start point of the application, but we are not going to stop there. There's one more point, which is at expert level. You will see that when you scroll, the bottom navigation bar is not hiding. So as the app bar is hiding and appearing on a reverse scroll, same thing should happen for the bottom navigation bar as well. And now to implement that, you really need to have good knowledge of Dart language and Flutter components. And because we'll go a little bit deep inside the scroll behavior, we'll create a custom controller which will listen for the scroll event, and then it will update based on the based on the scroll direction. To hide the bottom navigation bar, we can even use the visibility component, and inside that we can just say either visible or not, but that will not give the animated effect which we want. It will just show and hide, which doesn't look quite nice. So to animate it nicely, like to it should look like it is going down and coming up as we scroll, we will wrap this with animated container. And of course, with animated container, we have to provide the duration parameter, how long it's gonna take to animate from point A to point B, which in this case, we are keeping 300 milliseconds. And we'll provide the height parameter conditional, so that if it is visible, it will take height of 100 pixel. If it is not visible, it will take height of 0 pixel. And to control that dynamically, we will create a variable called isVisible, and that will decide whether it should take 100 pixel height or 0 pixel height. But the question is, who will decide whether it's visible or not? And the answer to that is the child page. So each page, home page, explore, or account page, is having a list, sliver list, or some kind of a list view. There we will implement a scroll controller which will notify whether it's scrolling up or scrolling down. So we have to create a custom event inside each of this page. For now, we will create inside home page, and then we will create a scroll controller. So let's go ahead and create a function callback which we will pass it from the home page, and let's name it after scroll result. So whenever the scroll happens, it will give the result to the calling page. And let's accept this parameter inside our constructor. We are good to go. Now inside the home page state, we will need a controller. So let's define scroll controller, and within init state, we will write a listener for the same controller. It's just few lines of code. It may look horrible, but it's very simple. In fact, we are just writing the user scroll direction, whether he is scrolling in the reverse or in the forward direction, and based on that we will just set the result. That's all it's doing. It's look quite difficult because we are not used to use scroll controllers and having listeners, because this is kind of a custom implementation to achieve some custom behavior. So once we have the proper logic, if it's visible, then we'll set it to not visible. If it is not visible, then we will set it to visible, and of course based on direction. Perfect. I think it's just 10 lines of code, but it gives really a good user experience. And of course at the end we are trying to replicate MKBHD application, so we have to meet expectation as well, right? We cannot just give a simple UI and say that okay, we are done. Anyways, I'm not going to cover the entire page like accounts and explore section, so that's why I'm trying to achieve as much as I can in the same tutorial. And if I receive a good response, then maybe I'll create another tutorial covering the other pages, or maybe we can even implement actual application with APIs and other integrations and logic. So let me know in the comment section if you're liking this series, or do you think what do you think about the panels application, its changes. You can just write down in the comment section below. All right, back to the logic. So here after scroll result is mapped to this method which have same parameter, so it's just like a Dart shortcut. You can reference the same type of signature methods, and what all we are doing here is just setting is visible parameter based on the result. So if you scroll down, the app bar and bottom navigation bar will be hidden. If you scroll up, it will come back again. It's that simple, and it looks amazing. If you notice closely, in the bottom navigation bar there's a glitch that it's showing some red line, and that is because the container size changed and it is trying to fit all the elements in it. So we will wrap the bottom navigation bar inside a wrap widget. So what it does, it provides a dynamic sizing, so you don't get that issue of size, and it will just automatically adjust it. All right, so we are done with the tutorial, but there's one more thing. If you scroll the list view, you will see that the images are not presented nicely. It just comes abruptly, and we can fix that with the help of one package, cached network image. Now we just have to import the package cached network image and replace the widget. Instead of using image.network, we will say cached network image and provide the image URL. That's all we have to do to get a nice faded image, and it looks amazing. To be honest, the images doesn't look amazing because the Pixum server giving me some random image, but yeah, that's the whole concept. You have some nice images as well here, and it fades in nicely, and we have the bottom navigation bar and app bar appearing on the scroll behavior. Now if you want to see other implementation of this page of this application, you can write in the comment section below. And I think we are done with the tutorial. All right, this was just replica of the application with minimal details. The actual application with all the API integration, with all the functionality testing, of course, it's gonna take a longer time. And before actually submitting the application, I would recommend you to watch this video where I have given the complete details before publishing your application, what needs to be done, what needs to be checked, the image, and all sort of production level tips which you really need with your application. So go ahead and check that. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.